Welcome, everybody. My name is Chanelle Carlin, and you are watching Okanogan Propsers. And I would like to welcome you to our first non-Zoom Okanogan Propsers. And I would like to say a huge thank you to Tyson.
Hooray, it's live.
For having us here live at the Pickled Pepper Hop Shop.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy, that is a mouthful.
Yep.
So, everybody, welcome to Tyson. And thank you for letting us be here with you.
Yeah.
Live in person.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost nervous. I'm so used to sitting behind my own computer to be sitting in front of a microphone.
Oh, yeah, it's different, huh?
It is. So how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Been good. Yep.
How are things next door to the doghouse?
Next door, they are going great.
Okay.
It's the learning curve is so steep. The days are busy.
Yeah.
But we're learning quick, and seems like we're getting somewhere.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Got a whole order of shirts coming today. I'll show you after the show.
Awesome. I can't
We're
wait to see.
excited about that running around. Look
Yay.
at, we got new stuff.
We got new stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
The new phone book's here. The new phone book's here. Well, if you've not, Steve Martin fans, they'll know what that means. So, okay, this is Okanogan Propsers.
Yeah.
And I love talking to Okanogan businesses to find out what it is that, one, they like about living here, working here, and what's good about having an Okanogan business. So why did you and Rebekah decide to move, settle, raise a family here in Okanogan?
So all of my family's here. I actually called just before the interview. I was trying to get some info on my grandfather's mom who homesteaded in Molson.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I've thought of that a little bit too late. But, anyway, so long family history here.
Okay.
So I was born here, but I moved away when I was just a couple years old. But I always liked town here. I always liked coming and hanging out with cousins. So Rebekah and I, she's from a small town as well down in Oregon, Prineville. And we were down in the Bend area, and it just kind of outgrew us. So when we were looking for somewhere to go, it's like, we know everybody up there. We go visit multiple times a year. Why don't we go back there? So that was what brought us back.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a clue what we were going to do, because it's not like major aircraft manufacturing is not part of Okanogan. So
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yet. You never know. Never know. There's actually been some interesting conversations with a few people lately about, like, what industry can we do? Like some players that, if we can grasp the right idea, you never know. We might try something. But
Well, there's no shortage of space.
Yeah. We got the space. Yeah. But anyway, so that was what brought us here.
Okay.
Just interest to be near folks we like in a place we liked.
Yeah, and a family history.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bill's family, actually, he was born in Omak, and in the Brewster Hospital, and then grew up obviously far away. Hello.
Can you pull that door shut on your way out?
Visitors.
Forgot it's a lot quieter when we close the doors.
Then they moved away, and then he eventually moved back as well. So
Oops.
that is so nice when people come to your office and shut all your doors for you.
Yeah. Yes.
So what made you decide to then? Oh, go ahead. You were going to say something.
So Bill's family is here, and then he spent some time away in Spokane area.
Yeah, lots of places. He grew up actually in Snohomish and Everett, and then moved back to Eastern Washington, but was mostly working in the Spokane area, and then was in the Coulee, and then eventually made his way back here to Omak, Okanogan.
It has a draw.
It does.
I'm seeing a lot of folks around my age that are starting to migrate back.
Come home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, that was pretty nice. A little nicer than I thought. Let's go back.
Let's go back to where we don't have like 1 million people in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So what made you guys decide to open a business here in town?
I think it's just built. I really like having our own business, my own business. I had an aircraft maintenance company, and since that wasn't really in the cards, it seemed like, so Rebekah's into cooking. That's what she does. She's always been a chef at different places, and so we had this crazy plan that we could try opening a restaurant. Neither of us have ever owned one before, but the opportunity came up, the space came up, and we just kind of started building. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure what put that in our minds to do.
We like cooking. We like beer.
Yeah.
Maybe other people do too.
Yeah.
Maybe some of our friends will come.
Yeah, Bend, Oregon was a big influence because the beer culture down there is so big. There's a ton of breweries, and the ability to build something like this there would be way too expensive. We would have never been able to do it. So you could actually do that here. Why don't we try?
Yeah. So. And look what happens when you try something new.
Yeah, yeah.
It either takes off or it doesn't, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the doghouse seems to have taken off pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's been okay.
Yeah. Until
it's so exciting getting like thanked by people when they come in. Like, thanks for being here. Well, thanks for coming. That's what helps us be here.
That's right. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just for folks who maybe don't remember, the Doghouse was the Okanogan Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year 2 years ago?
Yeah, 18? Was it 18?
2018? I feel like it was 2018.
I think so.
So we're very excited to have them here.
Yeah, that was really neat.
So then you expanded. You
Yeah.
expanded to next door, where there used to be a record store, for those who were in town before. Steve's Record Shop closed.
Yep.
And then now you have, tell us about your new business.
So the restaurant actually was supposed to have 3 parts. It was supposed to be good food and craft beer on tap, and then a small home brewing supply section. And that was always the way it was visioned as we talked about it, over years. Oh, well, if we ever got the chance, maybe we'd start this. But we don't have that big of a space in the doghouse. So the space next door came available, and it's like, there's my homebrew space. So we started building, and I had just a few items. I don't know if anybody saw, but we had bouncy houses in here, and
We saw.
yeah. You're like, hey, neighborhood kids,
There's this
you want to
big
come?
space.
You want to come play? I don't know what else we do with it. And so it's just been so we've been growing the brewing supply portion of it a little bit over time, and now it's fairly well stocked. We've been doing some classes and teaching and supply selling. So Okanogan has a big it's all everybody likes homemade. We do gardening and homemade stuff, and so I just had that feeling like it'd be a good fit. And it's catching on. There's a lot of excitement around it, and it's allowed me to grow the store, and now we're spending a lot of time trying to put some of it online. That was a new awakening. Like, we're going to close all the businesses.
Trying to figure out a way to do this.
Yeah. And yeah, not that we were completely closed, I guess, but it sure kind of made it tough. So, and I have really good feeling about, like, I couldn't have ever afforded to have a whole bunch of supplies just for Okanogan if it was just the local market.
Right.
But if I can get materials online, then I can move more materials and have a lot cooler store set up, which was kind of the goal of putting it all online in the first place.
That's great. That's great. And so far, it's still growing, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's doing okay
Yeah.
for a start.
Yep.
So then how are you getting your products to market? What are you doing to let people in the real world know? Because just because you put it online, as we all know, that does not mean it's going to sell.
Yeah. So we've Facebook group, and then we started. So this room is actually set up.
It's a great room, by the way. For those of you who can't tell, it's a great room.
It was an old bedroom setup, and then we started with brick, and then we took apart a bunch of pallets. We actually built this whole wall.
It's a great wall.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, we need to get the word out. And we developed this Million Brewers group. Like, we want to motivate 1 million new brewers to come just to try out homebrewing, whether you stick with it, whether it turns into something. And so now we turn that into a podcast and a YouTube channel. And it's like, don't really know what we're doing, but we're going to share it with the world that we want to motivate all these new brewers. And I really like the classes. We were doing the classes and having everybody come in. We had 5 stations of brewing set up, and I could teach 5 individuals at a time, each with their own all-grain kits of beer. And they could walk away with 1.5 gallons of beer. And so I'm hoping to be able to transition that idea online. And I guess we'll see.
So then you'll film it.
Yeah.
And they'll have their kit or whatever. Because I know Bill, so just for those of you who don't know, my husband, Bill Black, is a huge home brewer. He loves it.
Yeah.
Not in that he does it all the time, but he loves it. And he's been doing it for a long time. And he was really excited to get his new kit. And I said, when are you going to make your beer? He says, as soon as I find the video that shows me how to make this one. So the idea being that you guys have filmed it.
Yep.
And then people can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just like you
So Bill was
YouTube
really helpful
everything
when we
else.
first got started of kind of talking me through some of these things. And we came up with this kit, which I should have one, but it's in a bag laid out from the starting step to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, all the way through. Because it's really confusing when you open up a box and it's just stuff. Yeah. Right. And
which is what a lot of them look like.
Yeah. Helped him with a couple of those. Open up the box and we'll just close that. Come back later. So we're just now getting to where each of those videos is like, here's step one, and that'll just be short and just a video, step one video, and then that'll go to the step two video, and then that'll go to the step three video. But we've been doing live brew days. So first Saturday of every month, we do a live beer kit. And then the second Saturday is transferring it. And the next Saturday is bottling it. So it follows the process. And by the time you get done, all of our basic beers will follow the same process and go through.
Okay.
So this month's been odd because we have 5 Saturdays. So
so when you can just edit everything.
I had 2 free weekends. So excited.
I don't know what to do with myself. I completely understand. I'm a wedding officiant, so that's when most people get married, is on the weekends. And so when you have a weekend, you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What do I do with myself? I can't sleep in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love that idea.
Yeah.
And how is your YouTube channel going? I mean, are people subscribing? And
they are subscribing. We're tracking our subscriber numbers, and things are trending up. Numbers are looking good. I guess good is subjective. I don't really know what to compare it to, but numbers are growing, so that seems to be good.
Up
and
is good.
It's a larger number than people I talk to on a daily basis.
That's good. It's a small town, though, so.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, if we think about that, I mean, you've got this. You've moved your family here. You've got this one bigger business. Started with it's scaling, it's scalable, and it's scaling. But besides having family here and now people who appreciate you, what is it about Okanogan that makes you want to stay here? It's one thing to come back to, but what is it about Okanogan that you think makes this town prosper? Because it's a small town, and even before COVID-19, this was a town that some people, not the ones who live here, but other people might have tended to write off. Oh, it's just another one of those little towns that's probably, it's going to struggle. Even other local communities not in Okanogan said, oh, well, that's just Okanogan. It's just a small little town. But here we are. We have businesses that come to town. People want to open their businesses. People are buying houses.
Hey, Tim, I'll be back with you in a little bit.
And people are buying houses. They're building houses. We have a property shortage, as far as available houses on the market.
Yeah.
People want to come here. They can't find places to rent even.
Yeah.
There are so many jobs that are available, depending on the type of work you're willing to do. But what is it that makes Okanogan a place that continues to prosper with all of that in mind? What do you think?
It's a really friendly spot for, just people in general, and kind of no matter what you like to do. Like, I like riding dirt bikes, so I can go into the woods really easily, travel up to Concanelli. We have a bunch of farm animals. You fit right in and be like, oh, yeah, you want a bunch of chickens downtown? Sure, why not? Stuff you get away with in places, other towns you might not.
Chickens, goats.
Yeah.
Horses riding up and down the road.
There is. I really wanted to put in one of those hitching posts and invite all the local horse riders. Be like, come tie up. Like, I'll serve you a beer on the patio. This sounds great.
It really, where was I downtown the other day? I was somewhere, and I'm sitting out here. I'm listening. I'm pretty sure that sounds like horses. And it wasn't like a, when, like for Stampede, we always expect to see the horses ride through town. But there is no Stampede this year, so I'm like,
just on a regular old day.
Horses are still riding through town, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So, okay. So friendly, you can get away with stuff.
You're close to the mountains or close to adventure. There's all sorts of different adventures, whether you like to ski. We're really lucky to have the ski hill nearby. Because if you're, in winter sports and you had to drive for 2 hours, try to get to a ski hill, that's not so much fun.
It's not so much fun here because everywhere is 2 hours on a good day.
Yeah.
Let alone add snow and ice to it.
So we have all the adventure. We're close. Canadian border's close. If you want to travel and go see something different, coast isn't too far away. But we're secluded, and we can just be in our own space, and we can garden and have all of that, and it's all easy, and you have a lot of local support for that kind of stuff. I think just the self-sufficient nature. I think a lot of people really enjoy, and then we'll congregate together, and that makes Okanogan.
All these self-sufficient people congregating in the same in our little town.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think those are actually really good pots. People talk about Okanogan being a friendly place, and I would completely agree with you. And I do. I think that there's a pioneer spirit. That we're going to go make it on our own kind of thing, and not everybody does. Everybody does it differently. I guess we have folks who farm, folks who garden, folks who start their own restaurant and homebrew business. Everybody does it their own way. But I would agree. It feels like everybody's kind of got this pioneering spirit. And,
I think some of the West is still here.
Yeah, the Old West.
Yeah, the Old West. It's really neat listening or reading on some of the historical page. There's a lot of neat stories there. And you can still feel that, like, I'm going to make it. That's kind of neat.
Well, I know that I personally and Bill and the Okanogan Chamber and folks in Okanogan really, really appreciate you and Rebekah and your willingness to be kind of have that pioneer spirit and stick it out here, because I know it hasn't always been easy. When you first, because you were going to open in a different spot, you tried to open in a different spot.
Yeah.
That didn't work out for whatever reasons. And then you moved to a new spot where half the town and people who haven't been here for a while think it's still a coffee shop with ice cream.
Yeah.
And I think are happy when they find out that it's not.
I think in the last month we had 3 different people that said, "Oh yeah, we knew you were open, but we haven't been in. We were just kind of waiting to see, make sure what happened." 2 of them knew for like the 3 years. They're like, "Well, we've been here almost 4 years." Like, yeah, we're just kind of making sure.
Just making sure you're still going to stay open.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you our money to some, fly-by-night business.
Yeah.
Funny how it took them a while to get here.
Yeah.
But maybe they had to come out of the mountains.
Slow-moving Okanogan.
That's right. It's kind of like the river. Well, Tyson, thank you. Thanks very much for taking time to.
Thanks for putting this together. This is going to be really neat.
My pleasure.
It's just all of the stories from everybody. I really want to motivate as much as I can for people to come and try stuff just like this. Like the potential it's just wide open. So if anything I could do to motivate somebody else, Shannon's Place and all the business opportunities that can come up, that's fun.
Good. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, I agree. Whatever we can do to inspire and motivate and encourage folks to come here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Any advice for folks thinking about something new or something big or something small? Coming to Okanogan, not coming to Okanogan, or they're already here and they want to try something. Any advice for them? As someone who moved here just a few years ago and started a business.
I think more of the connections are made locally. So like person to person. So if you need something, just ask somebody, because I think like the housing market's one that's a good one. People talk amongst friends. So the best way is just person to person contact. I haven't spent much time in big cities. So, but you can't just open up the paper and get everything you need. Like you're just going to have to say, "Hey neighbor, you know anybody that has this or that can do this?" And then you'll find those connections.
And magically then they appear out of the woodwork. You're like, "Oh, how did that happen?" Yeah. Okay. I agree. And I found that funny enough when I lived in Ireland, it was the same. It was like, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And darn it, you better make a nice relationship with those folks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Tyson.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you. And thanks for letting us come and talk to you about Okanogan.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, everybody, thank you for watching another episode of Okanogan Prospers. We will see you again in September. Have a great day.